Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Radio Works World. My name is Dr. Gill Barham, and I'm the Miracle Molecule host. And this afternoon, my very special guest and my very special friend is Chrisoula Sirigou. Hello.
Hello, my dear Gill. Hello. Hello, everybody.
We've already had quite a nice little chat, haven't we?
Yes, we love
before the show. Yeah, we do chatting quite a lot. But it's lovely finally to get you on my show. We've been trying to plan this for a while and we had some technical issues and blah, blah, blah. But there's no way that I wasn't going to do this project without you. So finally you're here, which is marvellous.
Yes, indeed. Marvellous, wonderful, marvelous, really excited.
Yeah. Now, before we get going on our light-hearted conversation, I'd like you to tell the world, Chrisoula, what it is you do, what you're passionate about, please.
Well, I am Chrisoula, the Golden Muse. The Golden Muse comes from the fact that Chrisoula in Greek means the Golden Lady. And muses in Greece, they were all about spreading inspiration and connecting with your heart and soul purpose. So that's my vision, that's my passion, how we can connect more with our inner gold, our authentic power, and bring that out there and share it with the world, because it is not good just to keep for you, is it? It's all about sharing and inspiring others to do the same. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what I love doing. And I do that through color therapy, color analysis, and psychology of color, combined with the tools of heart intelligence. It is all about how you can learn, educate yourself, really, becoming more aware how you can open your heart, connect with your heart, and follow your heart. Because sometimes the mind does all the thinking and the doing, but the heart is not totally involved. And in that way, you don't live your true purpose. So that's what I love doing, and I create educational programs, courses through the community, proudly, and now I'll be sharing a bit later what's happening with the next step forward, which is very exciting.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Okay, so as Chrisoula said, she's going to share with us some news about some things that she's got coming up at the end of the show, but I'm not going to let her talk about business anymore because we're here to talk about her. So you're frozen, Chrisoula. I don't know if you can still hear me.
I can still hear you, yes.
Good, okay. So you've frozen a little bit.
I'm here. Hello.
Oh, you are
I'm
here?
here.
Okay. For some reason, your screen is frozen. Let's have a little look and see if we can make that work. Okay. All right. So now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get into our light-hearted conversation. And just to say that Chrisoula has been a bit nosy. And even though I tell people not to watch other people's shows, she has watched little bits of other people's shows. But on the whole, you're not really sure what I'm going to ask you, are you?
No, and I haven't even thought about it, to be honest with you, because I like to be in the moment.
Yeah, and that's the whole point about this. It's in the moment. So just to give everybody, Chrisoula, would you mind going out and coming back in again while I just explain the premise of the show to everybody? So you just hop out and come back online, okay, because yeah, this whole show is based on the principle of one of my favourite BBC Radio 4 shows called Desert Island Discs. And basically how this works is it's the longest running show on BBC Radio 4. And Kirsty Young is the current presenter. And what she does is she interviews a person from whatever walk of life. She makes them choose 8 pieces of music, and she gives them the Bible and the Oxford English Dictionary, and she allows them to take a luxury and a book of their choice onto a desert island. And throughout the show, she weaves in and out their kind of life story and little snippets of their life, effectively. And so what I wanted to do was to create a show and a platform that did a similar thing, where we're actually looking at the person behind the business. So in this case, hi, she's back. So we're looking at the person behind the colour mirrors, behind the Golden Muse. And although, Chrisoula doesn't have a business and a private persona, they are very, very linked. This show really is based on just giving people a little bit more of an insight, so that the more we connect with people, the more likely they are to come to us, because people generally will work with you if they know, love and trust you. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're going to get going with our questions. The first one, you're not here, yes. The first one is, I've got a scenario for you, Chrisoula. So I'm going to send you off, and you're in a nice hotel, and you've just arrived in the lobby, and you're going to go up to the top floor for a nice lunch because you're hungry. And you get into the lift or the elevator on the bottom floor. One other person gets in the lift with you, and as you go up, you get stuck. The lift gets stuck between floors 6 and 7. And you get a call from the engineers, this is the bad news, to say that you're going to be there for maybe 2 or 3 hours. But the good news is that you have windows, so you're not going to suffer with claustrophobia. And the other bit of good news is that you get to choose who the other person is that got into the lift with you. So of anybody in history, dead or alive, anybody you would like to spend 2 or 3 hours with to ask all the questions that you've ever wanted to ask, who would that person be?
Okay, right. Well, first of all, I love being on the top floor and looking outside. That's good. And I love natural light. That's even better. So, would it be a man or a woman? Actually, the name Mary Magdalene came to mind. Mary Magdalene, for me, is not about connecting more with, as women, connecting more with our feminine nature. And we live in 21st century, and it is really, really hard sometimes to be a woman in your full potential, because the masculine side has come up, and we always need to show we are action makers and bringing like a competitive, and so somehow the femininity is not entirely there. So somehow the masculine has come up and then suppressed the feminine. Do you see what I mean? So Mary Magdalene is very much the archetype of feminine wisdom and feminine nourishment and self-care, and really inspiring women and men to connect with their feminine sides, because we all have feminine and masculine sides, whether you're a man or a woman.
And we've been living in some quite serious masculine energy over the last few months, haven't we, in the world?
Yes. But it is definitely that the way forward is, for us women, is actually to connect more with our hearts and connect more with our caring and feminine power. So power doesn't always have to be aggressive. Power doesn't always have to be, I'm going to make it happen no matter what, and I will just kill and destroy everybody on my way. So power is actually connected with what I call your golden wisdom, what's happening inside. And everybody's got that. We all got that. It's not something that you have to ask permission from somebody else to say, you've got it, I've got it, everybody's got it.
Lovely. So Mary Magdalene. Okay. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is that Mary Magdalene is hungry too. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a lovely spread for you with beautiful, lovely white table linen and crockery and cutlery and glassware. And I'd like you to tell us what food and drink you would choose to share with Mary Magdalene.
Yes. Because Mary Magdalene and I connect with the family values, it would be something really yummy, because I'm Greek, as you know. It would be definitely something Greek and something yummy. It doesn't have to be meat particularly, it could be vegetarian, because probably where the where she comes from. And I also think that meat was that sort of, it was probably pretty expensive to have on their tables. So
well, I'm more
anything
really
vegetarian,
interested,
which is really healthy for us anyway, would be part of the meal.
Yeah, I'm more interested really in your favourite food. The basis of this question.
I'll tell you what, I love
what you would eat.
So something with aubergines.
Ah, very Greek, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And what would you drink?
Okay. Well, if it's very Greek, yes, but I love food generally. Good deal. I would definitely go for some wine. Yeah. If there's winter or summer, summer will be white or rosé. Winter will be red.
Okay.
I would definitely go for some wine.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, thank you. All right, so now what I'd like to do is we're going to take a little snapshot into various parts of your life. And first of all, I'd like you to take you back to the 18-year-old Chrisoula. So would you share with us where you were, where you were living, what you were doing at 18?
Mm. 18, I was still living in Athens. I was an equivalent A-level student. I was very ambitious, very hardworking. I was sitting exams to enter university. And although I was really dedicated, however, I had an issue with my health because I was under a lot of stress. I was under a lot of stress to perform, to achieve, to be the best. So I remember on one hand, the education system, the way it was back then, it was really, really putting a lot of stress on us, to go through the exams. And there were 4 subjects that I was sitting, and everybody back then that they were choosing that particular area. And mine was ancient Greek, Latin, history, and Greek philology, of Greek language, if you like, Jill. So these were the four key subjects that I had to go through. And my whole thing was to enter university. Everything about it was like education, investing in myself, and becoming a teacher. So it has been part of my path since very young age to be a teacher and educator.
Mm. And what was the music of your era? What were you listening to at 18?
Ooh, it was like disco and Rick Astley. I saw you show something with Rick Astley from Hyde Park the other day, and George Michael, Madonna, all of this, all this lovely, yeah. And the song I love, it's called Gold by, what's the name of the group? You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's the kind of music I was listening back then. I love dancing. I love dancing.
Okay, perfect. All right. There's a little bit of delay, and we're not actually seeing your lovely face moving, I have to say, but we can hear your voice, which is great. So now we're going to go to 35. So what was happening for you at 35? Where were you? What were you doing?
Oh, that's a big step. There's a number of years between. In between, I had lived in London, and from London, I had all the educational sort of qualifications to be a full-time teacher, teaching foreign languages to adults. Then my dream was to live in France, so I went ahead and I lived in France, and I taught there, and I met my husband, Sean. And of course, after that, when you have a relationship, you say, okay, what's going to happen then? Are you going to carry on being? He was in England, I was in France. So we had, at the age of 35, I had already been in England, living with him, living a life together for almost 5 years. So I was living in Cheshire, and I still live in Cheshire, in the heart of England, and yes, he wasn't my husband back then. We were not married back then. We only got married recently on the 2nd of July, as you know, Jill.
I was there.
You and Peter were part of our celebration. Yes. So,
that was lovely.
yes, You were there, yes. You were actually singing for us as well, and I'll never forget that. It was a special moment, yes. So yes, 35, here, back in England, in Cheshire, living in a beautiful countryside cottage, overlooking, as I speak to you now, overlooking green fields. So from the blue of the Greek islands and Greece, now it's all about green. It's all about green. It's all about heart connection and following your heart, emotional wisdom. That's all green is all about.
And did you have your colour mirrors business by then?
Well, no, actually, no. The colour mirrors came to me a bit later. So basically, we all go through. We are all on this what we call evolutionary journey. So back then, I was teaching full time. I was teaching in secondary school education. I was teaching French and Spanish to kids aged 13 to 18 years old. But also I was teaching primary schools because there was some sort of scheme that they were trying to bring language back into primary schools, and I was there to help and mediate that. So so yes, I was full-time teacher back then.
Wow, I admire anybody that does that. My son's just trained as a teacher and has just started his new NQ.
While I was there, I was. All the best to him. All the best to him.
Yeah.
It's one thing I'm going to say, and I like people to feel into it, is that one of the jobs that in our society that is totally undervalued is definitely the job of teachers and nurses. And I say that because I have lots of friends that are nurses, and I have worked as a teacher, and they don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. So that's what I'm saying. So chapeau to everyone over there who is actually working for caring and educating our children and young people.
Yes, and as you say, looking after, as you know, I trained as a nurse after my degree, and so I absolutely agree with you. Okay, so I can hear my echo. It's really funny. There's a delay. All right, so we've got some quick fire questions which are going to be interesting. A 3-second delay.
Okay.
Which would you choose here between a TV and?
Shall I stop the? I didn't get it. Can you say it again?
I think maybe it might be coming back in again. See if we can get a better connection.
Right. Okay, I'll do that.
Let's
right.
do that. We have techie gremlins today, which often happens. Just to say that we have great plans with the Radio Works World show, and so all the shows are going to be done on a slightly different platform, so that we're not going to be held to ransom by Wi-Fi. Are you there?
I am back. Yes.
Oh, and now I can see your face moving and everything. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so let's do our quick fire while we've got some good signal. So, which do you prefer here, TV or radio?
Radio.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Fiction.
Are you the oldest, middle, or youngest child?
The oldest.
And at school, I think I might know the answer to this. Were you the goody two-shoes, the class clown, a bit of a handful, or under the radar?
I was really a good student. I was always helping out, never causing any trouble.
Yeah, the goody two-shoes. And nowadays, what would you say is your best habit? What would you say is your best habit?
My best habit? Ooh. My best habit is just to realize when I'm tired and stop working. instead of proceeding, no matter what.
Okay, good. And so what's your worst habit?
So I have that freedom to say to myself, okay, now you're ready to stop. If I am really tired and hungry, don't talk to me. Just like it's the worst combination, what I mean? It's like I could get, now I could get really upset easily if these two things come together. I could lose it very fast. That's all. I don't know whether it's a habit, but anyway.
It's called being hangry, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, being hangry. Okay, and what do you do to relax?
Meditation, yoga, and I love walking. I love being by nature, and for me, any kind of connection with water, it really helps me to relax. It does. Water is naturally a way of allowing your brain just to completely switch off and release and connect back with yourself. That's beautiful.
I agree. I spent the best part of 5 weeks on or by a river or a canal, as you know, in the summertime, and really felt much better for it, apart from falling in, which wasn't my finest moment.
Oh dear.
Okay, so have you ever had, or do you have any nicknames?
Not really nicknames, apart from the fact that my parents were calling me Sula instead of Chrisoula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sula. I think that counts.
I mean, I speak to you now. The name in Greek is Chrisoula. Christos in Greek is gold. And then they were putting it down to Sula, and I said, no. There's a point I said, no, I want my full name, please. So that was going on during my, all my childhood and being a teenager as well. There was the point I rebelled and said, I want my full name.
Call me Chrisoula.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know that I sing because you've heard me sing. We've just talked about that. So if I was up on stage with my microphone and I called you up to sing with me, what would be your karaoke song choice?
Ooh. Oh, wow. I love music. I really love music. And there's a number of songs I could possibly sing, but whether, probably I would think about, you see, this is where I would think whether it's something that we could sing together or something that I want to sing. That's another thing.
Something that you want to sing. It has to be yours.
Okay. You won't be able to be in Greek, would it?
Yes, you can have anything you like. You can choose a Greek song. That's perfectly fine. Of course it is.
Oh, bless you. You see, because I've lived in different countries and I'm blessed to speak different languages, I'm really blessed to be able to speak different languages. I feel really, really honored to be able to communicate in other languages. French comes to me because French was my choice of language. English was something that was, imposed, meaning that I had to learn because everybody in the world learned and everybody in Greece had to learn it. But French was my choice of song. So it's something by Celine Dion and singing in French. I can't remember, the actual name. There's a chorus called Ne partez pas sans moi, which actually it won the Eurovision Song Contest years and years ago, and I was thinking,
and it's Celine
Dion, but a lot of other songs that I would love to choose. Yeah, I love Celine Dion. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you.
Now she sings both in English and in French.
Yes, because she's French Canadian, isn't she?
Cool. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we've gone back to our delay. Who knew? All right,
here.
so I know you're here. I can hear you. There's just a little bit of a delay. So this next question is another scenario for you. Okay. You've met my lovely husband, Peter, and you know that we've been together for 35 years this year. And 2 years ago, we went off to America. We went to a wedding and we planned a holiday for a month around 8 states in the US. And we were together 24 hours a day, apart from one day. Somebody organised the flights and the hotels, so we just needed to pitch up, and it was a great holiday. And basically, we didn't have a crossword the whole time that we were away. So I'd like to know, if I organised a holiday for you, who would you take on holiday that you could go away with for a whole month without a crossword?
Oh, without one? Oh my God, no! It would be. I don't think it would be possible. I'm only thinking. It would be definitely. I don't think you're telling me the truth here, Gill Barham. It's just what I'm saying is that when you're with somebody all the time, however fabulous the relationship is, however deep and enriching, there will be a point, there will be some sort of disagreement. So
not on holiday. I'm not lying to you, honestly, on that whole holiday.
We are enjoying traveling together. We definitely love exploring.
Are you talking about Sean? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Different. No, that's all right. That's all right. Well, I would definitely choose to be with Sean. Yes, because we have traveled a lot together. In the last 17 years, we've been together. So we definitely choose him. But yeah.
Yeah. And just to say that I'm not lying to you, we literally didn't have a crossword. We don't argue anyway. We do bicker a bit when we're at home, but it's generally about boring things like whose turn it is to, put the kettle on or whatever it is. And once you take all of that boring stuff away, it was really interesting because we literally had the most glorious time because we didn't have anything to argue about. We were just having the most glorious day every day. And I'm sure that would be the same with Sean. If I organised it all for you, I'm sure it'd be exactly.
Yeah. It's the whole. Yeah. Ooh, are you offering?
Okay, so now, she's gone out and come back in again.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's better. Every time you do that, it helps actually. If you go out and come back in, it speeds it up. So my next question is another music question. So this series of interviews is being translated into a book. So everybody.
Before we start this, I better just stop the camera and come back again. Because I haven't.
Hopefully she's going to come back in again and we're going to get a better signal.
Yes. Hopefully it's going to be all right now.
Okay.
Yes.
You can hear me now? Good. Okay. So I was just explaining that this book is going to, all the conversations that we're having are being transcribed into a book. So everybody's going to get a couple of pages into a book. And I'm going to try and do maybe up to 52 so that we've got an interview a week for people to see. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, what I want to do, because of my passion for music, is I wanted to create a set list or a playlist. And I'm inviting each one of my guests to choose one song that will go onto my playlist, but that song has to make you feel light-hearted.
Okay. Right. So you're asking me to offer you that.
Sorry?
You're asking me to offer you that particular song. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's a song by Flashdance. What a Feeling, I think it's called. And whenever
Flashdance, What a Feeling, yeah.
whenever I hear the song, nothing else matters, and I am so joyful, and my spirit goes up, and then I just start dancing. So that's my song.
Brilliant. I'm quite happy to have that on my playlist. I have a suspicion that there's an Irene Cara. It might actually be on there already. I need to check, but it's a good choice all the same. Okay, now you have been very instrumental in kind of starting my journey off into being a bit more visible in the world. But some people would say too visible. And you interviewed me, I don't know, a few years ago now on your radio show, which was the sort of catalyst to my business going to a whole new level. And thank you very much for that, and for your friendship, and the things that we've done together ever since we've, been, and so on. And been a big champion of my work in terms of what I do to address the global mega global health crisis that we have in terms of heart disease and so on. So my passion for the heart, and I know that you also, because you've already talked about it, are also very passionate about the heart in every sense as well. So my last question to you is really just to ask you to share with us how you take care of your heart. So, as you know, my book, The Heart of a Woman, How to Look After the Heart You Give to the World, looks at all aspects of well-being for a woman. And I'd like to know from two aspects how you look after your physical heart, but also how you look after your emotional heart, or the heart that you have to give.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, it has been to have with you more, Gill, as well. So and yes, and then it's always like a friendship that I totally value, and thank you for inviting me here, having this light-hearted conversation with you on Radio W.O.R.K.S World. And so when it comes to heart and physical, emotional, mental, all of that is interconnected, right? So if you are somebody who is already on that sort of self-development journey, you know that you cannot just try to fix or try to do something with one part of you and then not looking after the other parts of you. It's all part of the heart. It's connecting with your gut very much, and also what's happening up here in your brain. So if you allow time for the mental clutter to go, then your heart starts feeling a bit more released, and then you can actually relax and have more chill time. If I start eating, all this sugary stuff and lots of salt and lots of fattening, then I could feel it in my gut, and of course I will not feel the freedom to express myself either. So there's all of that is connected. So what I do to help me physically is I do meditation. I also teach meditation in color, but I also do Pilates and yoga. So that's what I do to help me keep the flow going, because as we are spiritual beings, energetic beings, the flow can get stuck. So we need to keep moving somehow. Whatever movement works for you. For me, I'm not into too much sort of high impact. I've never been into that. So walking and then doing something like stretch my muscles and strengthen my muscles. This is something that works for me. But in connection to that is also allowing time to release any emotional baggage. So I'm very emotional, so tears could come easily to me, but I am actually very good with myself that I don't hold them back. I do release them. So I invite you to do the same. So by actually saying yes to releasing your emotional, whatever, anxiety or anger or frustration it could be, because there are lots of triggers out there. Believe me, that however zen you want to be, something will definitely trigger you. But it's how you go back and ease the way through, understand what it is, and then instead of getting, triggered and reactive, what I am really learning to becoming more, just take it in, and instead of becoming like, ooh, like that, okay, I said, okay, take it in and try to see from the other person's perspective. So that's what is actually what heart intelligent relationship is all about. So first of all, connect with your own emotions, connect with what's happening in you, really have a check-in and say, okay, where am I here? Whatever the remark or the comment is it really about me, or is it something that reflects back to the person who is making that comment? So it's all about, like becoming more compassionate also with the person or the people in your life. So that's something that has helped me personally, Gill, because it's very easy to become sort of thinking that people don't accept you as you are, or people may try to impose on you their own opinions. It comes from really connecting with, who am I? What do I want? What is my passion? What is my vision? And be very clear with that. And clarity is a process. It doesn't come like that. The more you work with it, the more you work with yourself, whether we want to call it work or you do something because you love it, and do anything that brings you joy. That's my thing, that I would just say that as a closure of our conversation today. Do anything that lights your heart. Do any activity. Be with people that bring the best in you. And that's, bring people, connect with people that you feel inspired. Connect with people that will accept you as you are and love you as you are, and vice versa. So
yes, I absolutely agree.
So that's my emotional thingy, Gill. It's all about connecting with what your truth is, and let people know about it. If you're not happy with something, just be honest, be true, be authentic, and that's how relationship can last and deepen. And if a relation doesn't last, it's okay. Say thank you to them, love them from afar, and go ahead with your life. That's all I can say as the last bit there.
Sharing. Thank you for sharing all of that. I've really enjoyed our light-hearted conversation. We have many light-hearted conversations, but we've not quite had one that has gone along those lines up until now. So it's been really fascinating to get a little bit of a glimpse into you. So just before we go, I'm going to put your website up onto the screen so that people connect with you, and people can also connect with you through Facebook. You run a regular show on a Thursday afternoon at Redshift Radio, but I'd like you to tell us a little bit more about what's coming up for you, maybe a bit about that, and what other programs and events and things you've got coming up in the next few months, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gill. Well, locally, where I am in Cheshire, I do run the radio shows on Thursdays, and from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's something I've been doing for the last 7 years. And you're very welcome to connect with me and see how we can schedule your own interview. It's all about becoming visible, of course, but also it's all becoming to connect with your own passion and truth and share it with the world. I equally run events. I call them Life Awakening events. One is coming up next week. This is in honor of International Peace Day at Blissland. And I love inviting inspirational speakers that when you come along, you are inspired by the people you connect with, but also by the actual space that you live. You are, the space, the environment you are surrounded by. October time, I'll be in Greece. I'm running my retreat. I run retreats in Greece, and I'll be running a workshop, as Love and Gold Bootcamp. So that's a one-day workshop, and then I'll be in the Netherlands in November, and I'll be running a heart circle in color. So all about color analysis and color psychology, but bringing heart intelligence and color therapy together. So that's me. So I work locally. It's meditation in color, and I do one-to-one sanctuary of color. But also I do stuff abroad. Not to mention stuff online too. So you can find all of that. You can find all of that on my website. It'd be lovely,
Yes.
lovely to connect with you.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I do suggest that you connect with Chrisoula because, as she says, she has so many ways for you to work with her or to connect with her or to indeed, she's one of these people like Marina at Radio Works World who are very keen to offer the platform for particularly heart-centered entrepreneurs like myself to be able to shine and be able to actually make a difference to the world, because there's no point in knowing all the wonderful things that a secret, basically. So I'd like to thank Chrisoula today. I've had a lovely time with my light-hearted conversation. I hope you have too.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, Gill. Thank you.
Good. And I'm going to see you real soon. And I'll just wave goodbye to everybody and thank them for watching. And we're going to, if you're watching this on replay, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you share it and share the wonderful golden news with all your friends.
Thank you. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.